So then how does this man falsify the consciousness of actually people? He falsified in three ways, Benji. You can falsify it by giving people false contents, false history, false knowledge, irrelevant knowledge. You see? Since we say that consciousness contains that, doesn't it? Yes. So even if you can think well, even if you have the capacity for great logical thinking and analytical thinking, if you are using and applying those thinking processes to false information, you're still going to come out to a false end. Okay? And so therefore, one of the first ways our consciousness is falsified is that we fill our minds with irrelevant knowledge or no knowledge at all, or false knowledge, false beliefs, false wishes, all kinds of fantasies. We're going to live together in a raceless world. We're going to live together in a classless world. Negroes sitting around waiting for the classless society to occur. Waiting around when all people are going to live as one. Girl, you keep waiting. You won't be here to see it. Oh, we may get a raceless society one day, but you might not be one of the races enjoying it. Yeah. But when you have that kind of fantasy, and that fantasy fills your head, when you think that the thing that's going to solve all the problems is that people love one another, you know, that they respect one another. You get a lot of preaching on Negroes on that behalf. Some of these public intellectuals, we must respect the humanity in each other. What the hell does that mean? How does that feed anybody? How does that employ anybody? You got some Negroes who engage in magical thinking. They think that if they teach their children to love all people, you know, I don't teach my children about color. I teach them to love and respect all people. And not to see color. Well, that's nice. No, that's wonderful. But tell me that this, are the other people teaching their children this? Huh? How is teaching your child this going to protect it against the people who hate you? Do you think by teaching yourself this, by some magic osmosis, other people are going to achieve the same consciousness? You're out of your mind. And yet we get something like people who think that. So they sit around the weakest of people, the most downtrodden of people, teaching their people how to love their enemies. And then wonder why they catch hell at every turn. Yeah. You can do that if you're willing to be dead and let people just run over you in the end. And if someone has convinced you that that's the essence of religious life, fine, it's all right. But I'm telling you, you see, we got a lot of people who are caught up in that thing. So therefore, our masters will put that kind of religion into us, you see, and they will see that as the essence of religion. I've told you many times that the major problem out here, the reason why our children are where they are, is the result of law-abiding, church-going Negroes. Yeah. And it's not the children and the youth who are the greatest criminal threat to the black community. It's law-abiding Negroes. It's Negroes who believe this white propaganda and this falsified religion. Yeah. Who can't see color, and therefore they can't see their own colored children. Yeah. Who in their efforts to be sanctimonious and good create evil. Yeah. Because someone told them being good is giving these other people who got more money than they know what to do with their money while they rob their own children. And then they wonder why they fear them as they walk down the streets. Who told them love means giving the Koreans all of your money and supporting their children and keeping them out of crime while you're on the street and you need jobs and you need of being cared for. But someone has convinced you that love means to ignore your own children and love someone else's children better than your own. And you feel holy, you feel good when you do it. Someone has made you feel guilty when you concentrate your attention on your own children. Someone has told you to love everybody, and you're so busy loving everybody you can't get around to loving yourself. You can't get around to loving your own. How is it that people filled with self-hatred and have not come to love themselves can appropriately love any other people? And yet we are asking the very people who've been most psychologically abused and destroyed to carry the whole world on their shoulders and to become the universal saviors of mankind. We got some joke out here talking about the universal values of Islam. That save the world. The Arabs don't need you to save them, Negro. The Chinese is not asking for a Negro to come over there and save China. The Frenchman is not asking Negroes to come over there and save them. Why did you get into this business? It's your business to save the world. And that's why you can't do anything for yourself, because you're too busy doing it for everybody else. You're too busy loving everybody. You can't even see the love that your own people need and your own children need. And you can't see that your people need more love than any other people here on earth. Yeah. Let me tell you something. Before you save the universe, before you slave and love all people, love your next door neighbor. Save a black neighborhood. Save black people. And if you can demonstrate that you can save black people, that you can save your next door neighbor, that you can save your family, that you can save your son, then maybe the world will be ready to listen to you and ask for your help. But you got a bunch of Negroes who walk around here and haven't demonstrated their capacity to save anybody. And they're talking about universal love, and we're talking about universal values. What the hell does that mean? And they're supposed to be superior to somebody who's committed their lives to African people. Come on. Who said, well, I see this people, and I'm a person of finite capacity. I cannot save everybody at once. And therefore I will save this or try to administer this. But you're supposed to feel guilty because you've decided to save people. The most religious person is the person who gives charity to those who are most in need of it. And when you look at the people who are most in need and the youngsters who are most in need of charity, they're your own children. And therefore, if you're going to be truly religious, you will be most charitable to your own at this point. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. But you see, if you're not capable of discrimination, if you can't see color, you can't see the need. You see? And if someone has convinced you that being religious is being blind, then you can't see the need, and you can't see it's your own children and your own people who need your money most. It's your own children, your own people who need your wealth most. That you will help the world and bring peace into the world. The degree to which you spend your money with these black children and black people, to that degree you will bring peace to America. Yes. You're ready to accept the idea that we are causing and we are disturbing the peace. You're ready to accept the idea that we are the major threat in America. You're ready to accept the idea that by being irresponsible and black boys are the terror of the world. Then why aren't you ready to accept the idea that they need your help most of all? You see, but you can only discriminate in a backwards way. And because you discriminate backwardly, or because you don't discriminate at all, and someone has told you that means that you're religious and you're sanctimonious, that means you're ignoring people who are in need, and that means you can't discriminate between people who don't need your money and people who do, which means that ultimately you end up enriching the rich and impoverishing the poor, and the poor then, as they react to the impoverishment with crime and other kinds of things, then create and disturb the peace and destroy the peace, and that means that in your goodness, you're actually creating sin. Right. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. But see, that's the way a white man runs it on you. You watch the good Negro. The good Negro is a supporter of everybody else but himself. The good Negro impoverishes his own mind and his own people. The good Negro accepts poverty as being an ongoing characteristic of black people, and wealth being that of other people. Yes, yes. And it's turned around. We have tremendous amounts of wealth, people, in both mind and body and material wealth.